Good afternoon, good people of the interwebs. I am sorry that I'm going live roughly 2 hours earlier than normal, but this probably will be my next normal time. So I'm not wondering why there is no one in the chat right now, because usually it's a few hours later. But I'm going to take it quietly on. Let's see who will join. I'm going to give it a few minutes, and in those few minutes I'm going to say a few things that are interesting to me. First off, yeah, this is going to be my new lifetime. I am sorry for that. I hope it'll be a good one. And let's see who will enjoy this. I am, however, also thinking about maybe doing something different with this channel. And I'm constantly thinking, and I'm hardly ever doing something. So for that, yeah, that's my bad. I will keep going on with doing live streams. I might do some long form documents. And I'm crap at video editing, so anyone who's better at it. And I might do more videos with me singing, but then again, that might just scare people off. Hi there, John. Listen, John, if you want to join in the stream, yeah, you're welcome. Join me in the Discord server, because Hangout isn't working. I have no idea why, but Google, YouTube. Well, this isn't YouTube. This is Google. They changed it once again, so I'm sorry for that. Hi there, Toxic, for you too. You're welcome to join me in the Discord server so you can join me talking in the stream. Unfortunately, Hangout isn't working, so at this point in time I have to do it over Discord. I thought about doing it over Skype, but Skype and OBS don't like each other. I am looking for something other than Hangouts for the future, but for the time being, Discord will have to do. I'm not sure how well you can hear me. I hope you can hear me well. I really do hope you can hear me well. So yeah, let me know if that's the case. If not, then yeah, I need to fix that. And hi there, Ludicrous. Toxic, I really like to make an appointment with you though, because we did say that we're going to talk about the forming of America and the document on independence, the Constitution. I really would love to do that. And yeah, I mean, this channel, your channel, doesn't really matter, but I'm giddy with anticipation to actually do that, because I really do think it's a very important topic, one that most people should hear more about. Because, and today we're not going to talk about the founding fathers, but what they did was both very unique and not so unique at all, but we've forgotten about it. So yeah, that the danger of people going back on the Constitution, it's a scary thought. Then again, it's not that strange that people will go back on it, because people are herd animals, and herd animals like safety. And freedom doesn't provide a lot of safety. Then again, you can have freedom or you can have safety, but you can't have both. John doesn't know anything about racism. Well, you'd be the first, mate. You'd be the first. Well, I have to admit, I'm a little bit surprised to see so many of you here already. Hi there, Richard, by the way. I didn't say hi to you yet. I didn't think people would show up, because it's, as I said, it's a lot earlier than normal. If this is a useful time for you guys, then let me know, because that would be another argument to say, you know what, I'm going to keep it at this time. Now, as you are right, John, we are going to talk about racism. And whenever we talk about racism, and this is postmodernism all over again, whenever we talk about racism, it's only racism if a certain group does it, but it's not when another group does it. And no, I'm not going to say that right now. We'll come to that in a moment. Considering that there is a small group already, yeah, I might as well start with the video. Now let me see if I have everything set up the way it should. This is the video. Racismus, yes indeed. Hi there, Terrinova. Just working in the background. Well, and Green Badger. Good relevant time of the day, as usual. And to you, my good man, and to you. Anyway, so this is the video, and you can already read the subtitles because the video has been subtitled. I downloaded the video, so I'm not showing you the YouTube channel. I'm literally showing you the video because when I saw the video first time, I really thought YouTube would take it down, stupid as I am, because this is rather racist. I've seen other YouTubers make comments about this. Steven Crowder talked about it, The Quartering talked about it. Most likely there have been others that talk about it. Guess what? It hasn't been taken down. But I don't care. I got the video here. Now this is from Cut. Rather new to me, but there we go. Swimming bitch. I don't understand that joke. I'm sorry, John. Anyway, let's start with the video. What exactly are white people superior at?
What exactly are white people superior at?
Oh, well, according to television, everything. A white man could fly. Even a white woman, she could be 4'1". She knew karate. She could take down 15 people.
Okay, I don't know about you, but I can't fly. Now, I could learn to fly a plane, but I'm pretty sure black people can do the same. I'm not really sure how do you say this? Out of touch with reality the good woman is. White people are superior at sabotaging the efforts of others to succeed in life and making it look like all of their own failings are their own fault. I'm curious what you mean by that. And it is a little quiet. Okay, let me see if I can do something about that. I should be able. Okay, now let's see where this is going. Someone can't spell folks. Well, that's another thing. I mean, these I'm going to call them lefties, and it's a wrong term, I know, John, but I'm going to call them lefties by lack of better word, or the regressive left. For some reason, think that if you put an X behind it, it's more inclusive. For example, and this was a nice little rant back in the days when all of a sudden Latinx was a thing, which offended most of the Latina persons because Latina and Latino are a thing. But yeah, no, Latinx isn't, just like folks isn't. Makes you wonder why they keep doing this sort of thing. But yeah, no, they're alienating more and more people that would once maybe support them, which in all fairness is a good thing, but it's strange that they don't realize it. Anyway, we asked 100 black folks, there we go, to tell us what white people are superior at. And personally, I'm like, okay, you're making a video. I know I'm not the best looking person. But how strange is it that you go show yourself in your underwear? Because let's be honest, this is underwear. And I don't care that she's not wearing a bra. I don't care to see her boobs at all. But am I being stupid to say, look at this person? And I don't like it to attack people based on the way they are dressed. But how can I take someone serious who talks to me in their underwear? Now, it's okay if I don't have to see them in their underwear. Single motherhood, white people's fault somehow. Poverty due to not completing an education, white people's fault somehow. Yes, Richard, it's easy to blame white people for your own mistakes. I understand what you mean now. Yeah. And you're correct. This is something that happens a lot. Oh, by the way, if people want to join in the Hangout, you are welcome. On the Discord server, I have this thing going on. I couldn't get Hangout to work. I am going to look for a different one. I already mentioned this. But if you want to join, you can go to our Discord server and you can join in with the chat. And if you need a link to it or whatnot, let me know. I can always give it. And no, Ludicrous, I wasn't taking her serious to begin with, but I should have. Shouldn't I? I mean, if someone comes with a grievance, it's bad manners to basically say, well, that's your problem. I mean, you first want to take it serious. You want to you want to hear the arguments. But yeah, if the arguments are bunk and the person doesn't take the argument serious himself, yeah, don't take it serious. Doing criminal deeds because it is fast money versus honest money, that is also white people's fault. Well, they blame white people for them doing crimes. Yeah, that's sure. Because how could they not do crimes? If they didn't do crimes, they wouldn't earn as much money. Funny enough, I heard that the average dope dealer in America gets less than what is considered to be minimum wage selling dope. So I'm not quite sure how that works. Anyway, let's continue. Come on.
Man.
Oh, God.
What are white people superior at?
They just keep talking, mostly about their pets.
White people love their dogs. Like that's
Okay, so white people love their pets because black people don't have pets? I know this is not true because I know black people who have dogs themselves, and guess what? They love their dog. So having a pet means you love your pet. I mean, don't take my word for it. Ask anyone you know that has a pet. They love them. Well, maybe not when they have fishes or something. They might say, okay, well, they're nice to look at. But if they have dogs, cats, big birds, rabbits, rodents, they love them because they can spend time to them. And now, not all black people hate pets, Ludicrous. Hashtag not all. Actually, that should have been the main thing about this whole talk. Hashtag not all. Do we have to go through this moronic shit? Yes, John, we're going through this moronic shit. But I'll get to the point in a moment. Because there is a reason to this stupidity.
Letting them get on your countertops while you're cooking, yes.
I get that you love your pet, but like you need to take it everywhere, like everywhere. I guess, you know, hey, emotional support animals, I guess.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Okay, now, Cat Stevens ironically sang I Love My Dog. Yes, I know. I'm sorry about that. I thought you were going somewhere with that one, Ludicrous. There you go. Well, John, I mean, you're welcome to join. You're welcome to not. I'm going to go through it because in the end, this is... there is something really funny to this. And just remember the questions.
Fuck, man, like making cereal?
Casseroles.
What kind of casserole?
tuna.
I mean, tuna casserole. Has any one of you ever had tuna casserole? I've never... I mean, I've had casseroles. I've never had tuna casserole. Usually I make them with beef. If I make them, not that often because I don't care. Can't you just make your point seriously? Yes, I can, John, but come on, I need to fill this a bit as well.
Always tuna. What do you mean? It's always tuna.
Using mayonnaise in a lot of their recipes.
Making bland.
Oh, I gotta go back to that one. Well. Come back. So, anyone, any idea what her ethnicity may be? I'm thinking Hispanic. But in all fairness, I have seen Dutch people look like that as well. So why is she complaining about what white people are good at? Green bean casserole. Never had that one. And yeah, no, I don't care about mayo. My brother is mad about mayo. He really uses it with everything. And the funny thing is, the dude is a cook. Yeah, she looks white to me too, John. I totally agree. Black people don't love their pet Terra because of dog fighting. I understand what you're saying, but it's a certain type of pet owner that does dog fighting or cockfighting, or, well, most animals can fight. And those people, I doubt they love their pet. Well, that's the thing though, and the video isn't that long, so I'm going to go through it. It's only 3 minutes.
A lot of their recipes.
Making bland food.
Unseasoned chicken.
How are you gonna start whole
Who eats unseasoned chicken? I've never had unseasoned chicken.
spice wars and don't even use seasoning on your food? I mean, come on.
I mean, we all use seasoning. I mean, most of the seasoning I use, fair enough, is salt, oregano, and basilicum. Well, one of the two. Those are the spices I use most. Garlic, lots of that as well. But, I mean, who knows any white people that use no spices? I mean, they might not use a lot, but no. And I like this girl with the blue thingy eyes. Apparently, she thinks the Ku Klux Klan is an interesting thing because she wears a hooded person, and he doesn't look like the Catholic type from Spain. So I'm going to guess it's a Ku Klux Klan dude with a shotgun, double-barreled shotgun. Seems she's okay with that. Okay, back to the chat. If you don't interrupt, it will go a lot faster. Yes, John. Can you buy unseasoned cooked organic chicken? Bloody hell. That's weird. That's really weird. I've never heard of that. Maybe she's a member. Could be. There's this video about a black man joining the Ku Klux Klan. So, yeah.
Santa Claus.
Extreme water sports.
Corn mazes.
White people are great at having fun. That's a
Okay, white people are great at having fun, and on average, white people know that when they put on a mouthpiece, how to put it on. Because I'm sorry, mate, that mask, I can see the bottom of your lip, so that's not a good thing. And it's a protest shirt. Well, yeah, probably. So it would be totally okay to make a video about black people and talk shit about fried chicken and watermelon. I'm sorry, I added the word shit there. Yeah, that's basically the point I'm going to make, but I was planning on making it a little bit later. This is funny because if you listen to what they are saying, it's obviously hashtag not all, but they're complaining about white people as if there is only one monolith of white people. Isn't that the very essence of racism? To me it is, anyway.
of white supremacy because they just don't have as many stresses as we do.
White supremacy because we don't have as many stresses as black people. And I'm like, how is that true? He wants us to truly suffer first. Yes, I know. All this shows me is that all of these people are perfectly comfortable using racial stereotypes and generalizations. And that is, well, the very point of it. And that's why I'm so surprised that YouTube hasn't removed it. Because, I mean,
superior at their privilege and utilizing it. We do not have the privilege to do whatever and however we want to.
What is that?
See, I mean, listen to the man. We do not have the privilege to do whatever and however we want to. What is a white man allowed to do that a black man is not allowed to do in America, Europe, most Western countries, if not all? I can name you a few things that a white person isn't allowed to do in black countries. But what is a black man not allowed to do in, for example, America? And this video comes from America. Marxist anarchist alert. Yeah, basically. Is that the day? I don't think it's from Dave Chappelle. I don't think Dave Chappelle believes in this sort of nonsense. Oh, blah.
Exactly what white people are superior at.
Not getting arrested.
So white people are superior at not getting arrested. And the funny thing is, in America, but in other countries as well, white people get arrested. And on average, criminals get arrested. So yeah, white people can be criminals, so they get arrested. Black people can be criminals, so they get arrested. Is it based on their skin color that they get arrested? Well, apparently white people don't get arrested. That's not what the numbers bear out. If I'm not mistaken, Toxic, you sometimes work as like, how do you call that? When you bring around the mail for the court systems, right? I can't remember the words now. And I'm pretty sure that you also go to the houses of white folks. I'm pretty sure of that. Should we bring the 650 stuff? Yes, the 650 stuff. Most people say it's 1350, but you're correct, it's 650. So 6% of the community is responsible for 50% of the violent crime. Now, why do I say 6 and not 13? And why does Ludacris say 6 and not 13? Because on average, it's the men doing it, not the women. And in all fairness, it's probably even way less than 6 because it's a fraction of the American population, the fraction of the American black population that create 50% of the violent crime. Hashtag not all. Most black people are not involved in violent crime. But yeah, still more than white people, which is amazing considering there's far less black men. But yeah, no, I mean, indeed, Toxic. You serve and deliver mail, you serve people, and I'm pretty sure you also serve white people. And you specialize in people that don't want to be served and live in homeless areas. I'm 100% sure that even there you will find loads of white people. Am I correct? It's because I know people here though, so... Well, yeah, no, listen, if you have an inn, that's always a good thing. And I know from the time when I used to work at the how do you call it, incarcerating system in the Netherlands, I used to work in a prison. There were some people that would prefer to be in jail, certainly as, around certain times of years, because in jail it's warmer than outside. It's a sick thing, but yeah. There are people, well, no one wants to be served, I guess. There are people who are okay with it. Most are white and Hispanic. No, that can't be true. They just told me white people don't get arrested. And isn't being served equal to an arrest? Or maybe I'm wrong on that one. Oh, wrong button.
At having fun. That's a function of white
Sorry, John, we're going to repeat this.
They just don't have as many stresses as we do.
White people are very superior at their privilege and utilizing it.
But how are you superior at being privileged? Utah is pretty white outside of Salt Lake. Well, there you go. And most of the black people there are rich and Republican. I'm going to suggest that they then therefore may not be inclined to be arrested and on the radar of the law enforcers. Because it happens to be that rich Republican folks tend to be more law-abiding. Now, I'm not saying there is no crime, because there is the thing called white-collar crime, which happens to be done by rich people. But yeah, I have the feeling that...
not have the privilege to do whatever and how.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. We already had this one. My bad.
Not getting arrested.
You know, I was driving down the street with down the highway with a friend of mine who was white. When he's like, I'm just want to pull over and pee. And I'm in the passenger seat. And I was like, please don't. Because a black man thinks differently. If I pull over to the side of the road and pee, a cop is going to be right behind me to punish me.
What is that?
But I'm not sure about this, but I know officially in the Netherlands, you're not allowed to pee outside. That has nothing to do with your skin color. So I'm not sure about how it goes in America, but I do believe that if a white person pees outside and a police officer sees it, the white person has the same problem that the black person would have. Again, I'm not American, so I love to hear how black Americans or white Americans feel about peeing in the open. Personally, I don't care, by the way. If you go to the side of the road, preferably next to a tree or something, yeah, you know what? I don't care. Displaying it, that's a bit of an issue. That's just me.
I think white people superior at
insecurity, pretending,
fear, being fearful of nothing.
See, that's another funny thing. White people are superior at being fearful. Now, wait a second. I have all this privilege. I do not get arrested, and I'm fearful. What am I fearful about? What am I fearful of? And this is, thank you, ludicrous, where that 6%, 50% comes in. There's a reason why people are fearful, because there's a large contingent of Americans that don't care about the law. I didn't know it would get you charged with a sex offense. Pissing in public would get you charged with a sex offense. How weird is that? But yeah, no, it's not smart. Fair enough. And but back to this one. I mean, white people are good at being afraid, apparently. So what are they afraid of? Well, having seen the last 100 days in America, or 130 days by now, seeing what happens in Portland, Kenosha, Seattle, Washington, I can only say I'm amazed that there haven't been any Americans yet that have used their firearm to protect their streets. And that Kyle Rittenhouse apparently is the first one that saved him the pain of dying by using a firearm. Because let's be honest, a lot of people have died. So yeah, it seems that fear may be justified. And yes, that is
ignorance,
blame,
letting their egos control their every move, privilege,
feeling victimized,
playing the victim,
congratulating themselves over shit that...
See, they're privileged and they're playing the victim. But considering that there are more white people being attacked, murdered and vandalized than black people, and it is true that most white people get murdered by white people and most black people get murdered by black people, but there are far more white people getting murdered by black people than black people are being murdered than white people, which is amazing considering there's only a small percentage of black people in America. I wonder if any of the things we would say here, if we would say it the other way around. Well, yeah, black people are privileged. They are privileged. I mean, let's be honest, they get... how do you call this, preferential treatment in schooling, preferential treatment in housing, preferential treatment in jobs. Now, obviously the term for this is not privilege, the term for this is positive discrimination. Fair enough, but positive discrimination is privilege. So yeah, that's an issue. Anyway, I hate to do this when I'm alone, but I have to do this. I'll be right back. I need a fast bio break. I guess this is my privilege. I really need to get something done about this, but yeah, there you have it. And yes, Richard, don't forget the couple in St. Louis who were charged for merely standing there with a firearm. And yeah, one of the weapons, the hand weapon of the woman, I think, wasn't functional, but yeah, still. And they were on their own property, facing off dozens of... Yeah, I want to say rioters, but YouTube would probably like me to say peaceful protesters. Everything came out okay. Yeah, well, no it didn't, so I probably have to go again in half an hour, an hour. I still need to do something. Actually, that's unfair. I've been to the physiotherapist because it's my Beckenbodem, which is the muscles that do all that thing. And because of Corona, treatment can't continue. Oh, in all fairness, treatment didn't even get started. So yeah, and I've been at it for a year, and I also have to go to a rehabilitation doctor because my hip and legs aren't working perfectly. That's the downside of MS. And basically, my treatment can't get started because of Corona. I can come back, hopefully, in April. Now, my conditions aren't fatal, but a lot of people die because medical professions seem to drop doing everything they can as soon as they have a reason to do so. I'm sorry, Richard. I wasn't planning on making you hear that. That was my bad. I'm sorry. There was another guy who charged by an Antifa mob. He drew his weapon and then... I didn't know about that one. But no doubt you are correct, Ludicrous, because unfortunately that shit does happen. I mean, I've watched videos of the aftermath of the Million MAGA March, when Antifa and Black Lives Matter thugs were attacking people going home from a peaceful protest. It wasn't a riot, but the attackers were rioting, and the police did absolutely fuck all. And those are the moments that I'm like, why the hell are people not defending themselves? Because, man, I'm not in America, and what I saw was absolutely angering me. Now, mind you, not all offenders were Black Lives Matter offenders. Most of the offenders weren't even black. But then again, Black Lives Matter is mostly supported by white liberals. It's too stupid for words. But can you imagine that I would say, well, yeah, black people, well, they eat chicken and watermelon, and their biggest problem is they're privileged. They're massively privileged. And I can come with numbers, and I can tell you, well, the main problem is they're not afraid of law enforcement. They just go out and do whatever they want. They want to kill you, you're dead. They want to steal your stuff, it's gone. But you're not allowed to say that, because that would be racism. And it's also not true, because hashtag not all and all that. But there are a contingent of black people that do behave like this. I'm not saying there isn't a contingent of white people, but, and this is something someone else said, I can't remember who said it, I'm sorry. But when white people riot, stuff goes up in flames. When black people riot, they steal everything they can. Now, in the end, maybe stuff goes up in flame as well, but on average, it's the stealing thing. Isn't that a privilege? You have the privilege to steal whatever you want and claim you do it because you're oppressed. I don't know.
They're incompetent at it, or that should have already been done.
They're superior at being dicks.
What is that?
Now, I'm pretty sure that this is a white girl. I could be wrong. She could be, I don't know, she might perceive herself to be black, just like that, what's her name? There's this girl, I forgot her name. She's trans black. So maybe this is trans black too. I mean, she does seem to have the nose for it. But yeah, the skin color is lighter than mine.
Exactly are white people superior at?
Oppression,
gaslighting,
lack of empathy.
So, gaslighting, oppression, and lack of empathy. And then we go to, let's call it an average country. Let's say South Africa, where the white farmers are being attacked and horrendously murdered. So who's lacking empathy in that case? And yes, Richard, this is true for America and this is true for Europe. One reason this stuff should be enraging is the notion that there is nowhere the American and the European can run to. Because once their countries are fucked up, they have no way to survive. Thank you, by the way, Terra Nova. Indeed, Rachel Dolezal. Now, this is also a white girl. I have to, I'm going to go back a little bit because I interrupted her.
Incompetent at, or that should have already been done.
They're superior at being dicks.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Oppression,
gaslighting,
lack of empathy.
intellectualizing oppression.
Did I say
I don't understand it. Intellectualizing oppression. How are the people in South Africa better off now than they were during white supremacist oppression. And I'm not in favor of oppression, don't get me wrong. But if we look at a country like South Africa, they've completely destroyed their infrastructure basically on the very day they kicked out the white supremacist leaders. Now, if we look at India, for example, India stayed under colonial rule by the Brits for quite some time. And then when they finally stopped, they had a little bit of a spat. The country broke up into pieces, 3 pieces, and they moved on. Let me see, Richard. Part of that comes from the notion that white people owe everyone else for... Yes. Yeah, this is true. In the West, we have fallen the victim, and this comes from postmodernism, I'm sure of it. And I have to admit that feminism had something to do with it as well, especially intersectional feminism. White people are to blame for everything. And I'm pretty sure that if we go back through history, the white people didn't murder millions of black people just for the fun of it, or enslave them, to be honest. I mean, let's be honest. The enslaving of black people was done by black people. The murdering of black people was done by everyone, just like the murdering of white people. The biggest murdering culture at the time was Islam. Not the Christian, not the American, not the English, but Islam. But yeah, no one talks about that because basically they don't give a shit. And then all of a sudden now we get people like the representatives of China talking in the United Nations on human rights that, well, America is very, very negative towards their minorities. But I'm like, in China, you have concentration camps, literal concentration camps. I'm pretty sure we don't have them in America or in Europe. No, but China is here to tell you how you are bad. It's the cultural Marxists, the postmodernists, people like this. Look at this face. This is a white woman hating that she's white. But yeah, stupidity all around.
They're just creatively thinking of new ways of like always staying one step ahead of other people. If we get rid of slave catchers, then let's just expand the police force.
So, slave catchers, the police, they're the same? I don't want to be rude, but the first slave catchers in America may have been white, but are more likely to have been black. We know that there were lots of slave catchers in America that were black. Then again, most of the slave catchers in Africa, obviously not most, all of them were white. Oh no, wait a second, they were black too. History, such an annoyance.
Like, that stuff to me is wild.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Making us believe that we don't matter.
Believing that they're superior.
No, I mean, you know what? I'm going to do what John asked. I'm going to stop this video because it is kind of pissing me off. I'm not sure how you guys feel, but yeah, to me it's somewhat annoying. Imagine a white person saying these things about a black... Well, actually no, not even saying it about a black person, but saying it about black people in general, because that's what they're doing. Basically saying white people in general are to blame. Well, what did they do wrong? Well, they're privileged. Okay. What's privilege? Well, you should know. No, I don't. Explain it. Well, there's no explanation. White people are good at finding ways to blame others. You mean for the fact that 6% of the American population is responsible for 50% of the violence? You send me a link that might be useful in Discord. Again, people, if you want to join in Discord, you can, and you can join me in the talks here. Oh right, yeah, I seen that one. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should. I'm going to get. Oh, stop with the stupid commercials. I'm sorry, I can't stop the commercial.
When me and Bradford.
Anyway, I'm going to show this because I'm pretty sure many of you have already seen it, and if not, it is brilliant. I have to admit, it is brilliant. I am probably going to get a copyright strike for merely doing this, but fuck it. I have nothing better to do anyway. Here we go. We actually agree, the woke and the racist. And unfortunately, yeah, that's true.
When me and Brad first met, I didn't think we'd get along, but turns out we kind of agree on everything. Your racial identity is the most important thing. Everything should be looked at through the lens of race.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. We both have a lot of opinions about people of color, even though we barely know any.
I say colored people, but as long as we're classifying them, we both think minorities are a united group who think the same and act the same.
And vote the same. You don't want to lose your black card. Sorry, I don't know. I just think we should
roll back discrimination laws so we can hire based on race again. Jinx, now you owe me a Coke.
See? It's kind of fun. I'm going to show the rest of it. And yes, toxic, it is just to divide us. I mean, look at what's going on in America now based on the election. None of them are based on reality. It's all about how can we prove the other bad or wrong. And people just let it slide. Trump was far too late to say, okay, you know what, we're going to defund postmodernist crap. And he didn't say defund postmodernist crap, but he did say we're not going to do trainings for that bullshit anymore. He should have done that the very first day. Anyway, this is a very funny video, so...
Okay. Hey, tell him what you told me yesterday.
White actors should only do voices for white cartoon characters.
I've been saying that for years. Stick to your own.
Us white people, we have so much privilege.
I agree. It is a privilege to be white. Ask him about interracial dating.
All I said is that black men who date white women have internalized racism, and white men that date ethnic women are fetishizing them.
Guys against interracial dating now. Like, am I being pranked? Did Boomer put you up to this?
Ugh, you know that taco place is white owned?
White people should be making white foods like Kraft macaroni and cheese, no seasoning, not even salt. It's like he's a mind reader. I mean, I've been pushing for segregation forever, and my man does what?
I created an improv comedy show exclusively for ethnic people.
Guy segregates comedy on my birthday.
White people need to stop wearing dreadlocks, and they need to stop appropriating black people's music.
Shaved heads and country music, the way God intended.
The funny thing about dreadlocks is that we know the Vikings had dreadlocks too, so yeah. But how idiot is this? Because I'm not going to show the rest because YouTube might not appreciate me doing that. Fair enough. But how brilliant is that video? I really think it's smart. And the worst part is it's correct. And Trump did a lot of things wrong. And people don't like me when I say this, but Trump did a lot of things wrong. When he went into the Oval Office, he more or less decided that he was going to be the president for everyone, and therefore he kept the people that were already in certain jobs in their place because he thought that they would be good at their job. Now, this is where you can see Trump isn't a politician, he's a businessman. Because businessmen don't fire people that are good at their job. But politicians know that if you hire someone of the other part, they will fuck you over any way they can. And this is what happened to Trump for the last 4 years. So yeah, there is that. No, dreadlocks are not the result of lack of shampoo or hair washing, Richard. They can be, but no, it's you can also make them yourself. So it is also a hairstyle. And yes, it only has 3K downvotes, which is brilliant because just that's another thing. The leftists, the woke, think that they are the majority. It's Bolshevism all over again. They call themselves the majority because, hey, you know what? I'm the majority, so people agree with me. When in reality, the vast majority of people do not agree with them. But when we get pushed racism by black people, well, white people shouldn't respond. That's racism. Wait a second. If you can push it to me and I cannot push it back, are you then saying that I'm lesser than them? Or are you saying I'm more than them and therefore I need to accept the fact that they are punching up? And yes, soap has been around for thousands upon thousands years. It's probably one of the first inventions, actually. Don't know why people didn't use it as much as they do now, obviously, but it has been around for the longest time. What was it? Fat and, well, animal fat and ashes was the first soap. And it worked. I've tried making it once. It's quite annoying, but it actually works. the thing is, if we look at America now, but if we look at the world now, because this is happening in Europe too, you're a racist if you point out that certain things aren't being done properly. Like example, the American election. But you're not a racist because of the facts you bring. You might be correct, but being correct isn't good enough. You have to be, I don't know how to say it. You have to allow yourself being denigrated by people of color or people of other ethnicities, because obviously you're so much better than them, so you just have to accept it. Or you're so much worse than them, but if you're so much worse than them, why would you accept it? If I am truly that privileged that I don't allow black people to talk down to me, why would I allow them to talk down to me? It doesn't make sense. And I have to admit, I was hoping to do a live stream with people, so it would be easier to talk with and against you guys. But then again, maybe next time I will see if I can find a better solution, because now I can only invite you on my Discord server, and I can understand people not interested in that. Ludacris is saying, I'm going to be really worried when the day comes when someone yells, you are a racist, and the person they are yelling at to respond, so what's your point? Aren't we at this point already? I mean, if people call me a racist now, I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. So what? I still don't like the term racist, though. I mean, it's a Bolshevik term. So yeah. It's almost as if there is several races. There's not. There's only one race. But when you say that, you're a racist. I mean, I don't see color. Well, you're a racist. How can you not see color? Well, okay. In that case, it doesn't matter what I say or what I do, because you've already decided that I must be wrong. Well, if I'm going to be wrong anyway, so why should I bother what you think? Anyway, I kind of talked about what I wanted to talk anyway. And I'm ranting. I'm good at ranting, I know. I am going to call it quits for now. Next time I will be around at this time as well. I hope you will join me then too. I hope to have something like Hangouts to make it easier for people to join in the stream. And I hope to see you all next time. If you have questions, if you have criticism, if you have suggestions, I am more than willing to hear them. And Toxic, I would really like to make an appointment on when we can do that stream about the American founding fathers and the Constitution. Not going to do that right here, right now, so if you can catch me over Discord server or over Twitter, that would be nice. And I'd like to thank everyone that joined me to listen at me rant. And thank you for your contributions, everyone. Until next time.